We are back on Get Up. NFL decisions are being made as we speak. Free agency less than a week away. We got quarterback questions. Schefter, take us through some of these, starting with Geno Smith.
Well, I know we're talking a lot about Max Crosby, but another question is what the Raiders wind up doing with Geno Smith, expecting that they're going to take Fernando Mendoza at number 1. They may opt to hold on to Geno as a veteran to have in the room to be the starter in OTAs. They have not made a decision about Geno, but some other teams around the league are waiting to see ultimately what the Raiders do with Geno Smith. Tua Tagovailoa has so much guaranteed money left, $54 million guaranteed, a $99.1 million cap figure. Obviously, going to be very difficult, if not impossible, to trade that contract. Most people around the league believe that ultimately they'll wind up having to move on from Tua Tagovailoa. That's a move that probably will be made before the new league year begins, and he could be designated a post-June 1 salary cap casualty. And everybody's waiting to see what Kyler Murray's fate is as well. The Cardinals would love to have traded him. Hasn't been much of a market. Most people expect him to move on from Arizona as well, in which he would be a part of this free agent quarterback class. Now, let's keep in mind here, he is due almost $35 million in guaranteed money from Arizona regardless of what happens. So if the Cardinals do, in fact, move on from him, which seems to be the expectation, then Kyler Murray could choose to play this year at a highly reduced rate and could go the route that other quarterbacks have and pick environment rather than money to groom himself, train himself to become a free agent next year. So what would that be? Would that be Minnesota? Would that be Indianapolis? Would that be some of the places where there are known and proven quarterback whisperers?
Yeah.
It's hard to imagine somebody like Kyler is going to go to other quarterback needy teams. He's going to have the ability and the flexibility to pick a place that he believes is good for his future.
So you're saying, does he want to get a degree from the University of Steichen or from the University of O'Connell? Or, you know, we've seen it happen already, right, with the University of Shanahan and all these guys, and guys literally rehabilitate their entire careers.
Tampa had a franchise quarterback for many years, Jameis Winston. They went and got Tom Brady. Jameis had to make a decision. Do I want to chase money or do I want to go get a graduate degree? He went and signed with the Saints, where he knew he was going to back up Drew Brees, but he's going to learn from Sean Payton and Pete Carmichael and all those guys. Whether that worked out for Jameis or not is another discussion. Kyler has to make a similar shot. To Adam's point, when you are guaranteed $35 million, no matter what, that opens you up career-wise to maybe do something you wouldn't when money is the lead factor. Could Cleveland, the Jets, or Pittsburgh offer him more money? Maybe. But is Minnesota not the best place for Kyler Murray if there is a window? And at that number, what it might be 10, 15, 20, it might be worth betting on yourself, saying, I'm a former #1 overall pick. I think I could beat out J.J. McCarthy, and I think I could rehab my career for the next contract to be a massive one.
And then it just comes down to Minnesota. Do they feel the same way about Kyler as you're saying Kyler should feel about Kevin O'Connell? Because for O'Connell, you're looking at this offense, and I heard Dan say this the other day, where he talked about that offense having a point guard. Even in the fact that they drafted J.J. McCarthy, he wasn't a guy in college that was doing everything. He was the guy that was getting the ball out, making winning plays. Does Kevin O'Connell see that in Kyler Murray? Because if he doesn't, then where's the next best stop? That's the thing where, to me, it comes up with Kyler Murray was very interesting, because I agree with you guys. You go to the best spot that's going to rehabilitate your career. But if that spot is a Jameis Winston-like, where you have to be a backup for a year or two, is he at that point in his career where he's willing to go sit behind another player? Or does he say, no, I want to make sure I'm in a good situation, but I have a path to start?
But we've seen what going to the right place can do.
Absolutely.
Baker Mayfield went from the Rams to the Buccaneers. Sam Darnold went from the 49ers to the Vikings to the Seahawks. It pays to choose wisely. That is something that he's going to be facing here, and it's a critical decision.
Especially because he has the soft landing, or whatever you want to call it, the cushion of the money that he already has coming. I want to make sure it's completely clear to everyone who's listening to this conversation what we're talking about. When you say the Dolphins and the Cardinals have these decisions, we're talking about Tua Tagovailoa. We don't know what's going to happen with Geno, but Tua and Kyler Murray being released as soon as this week, right? I mean, today's Tuesday. That's what we're talking about. In the next few days on your Twitter feed, or God bless us if we're lucky enough it happens between 8 and 10, you're sitting next to me, you're going to say the Miami Dolphins have released Tua Tagovailoa. That's what's pending in the next couple of days.
Those are the moves that we think.
The likeliest outcomes here.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Now, both teams, I would add, and Adam, both teams would love a trade offer. I mean, if you want to trade for Kyler or Tua, please, phone lines are open. Call Monty and call John Eric Sullivan. Like, call them. I just don't know if those calls are happening.
Right?
Yeah.
Let's give you a sense of the Kyler Murray of it all here. Okay, so Evan Kaplan does our research for us on Sunday NFL Countdown and a lot of our other NFL programming here, and he's outstanding. And he posted some very interesting notes on Kyler Murray for people who wonder, well, what exactly is Kyler Murray? Kyler Murray has played 87 games. He has over 20,000 passing yards and over 3,000 rushing yards. The other quarterbacks in NFL history to do that are Josh Allen and Cam Newton.
That's good, right? That's good, right?
In their careers. Both of those guys are pretty good. There's one very obvious difference if you think about, and I don't mean this facetiously, if you think about Josh Allen and Cam Newton and what they have in common and makes them very different from Kyler Murray, that I think is really the question mark, is that a lot of people wonder about the size. At the end of the day, can you succeed in the NFL? I mean, I don't mean this jokingly. I think it needs to be brought up. A lot of people wonder, Kyler's
size matters, Greeny.
I mean, on some level, in the NFL, it obviously does.
Nice,
I sit next to Rex Ryan every single week, and he talks about it. You have to be able to withstand all of the punishment and everything else
Rex says
that takes place.
he doesn't like his quarterbacks. So his insiders can be small, but not his quarterbacks.
Exactly right. He likes Schefter. Schefter's small. He doesn't mind that because he likes it. But so that, I don't mean it in any other way except I don't know if an NFL team is looking at Kyler Murray right now and saying, that's my ticket to the Super Bowl.
And there's also questions about Kyler's desire and what he puts in off the field. When you have a homework clause, which was real, that was as if it was a scarlet letter on a player for the rest of his career until he reverses that narrative. So in a lot of ways, yes, he's fantastic on the field. The question is, how committed is he? And if he's going to take less money, that tells you that he is committed and he's willing to put it all on the line and bet on himself.
But that's the great part. In this league, we've seen players do have the chance to reverse the narrative. And we've seen enough players who have reversed the narrative. And he is a former #1 overall pick, not a first-round pick, the #1 pick
who, by the way,
draft.
led his team to the playoffs.
Yes, the talent is there. It's a matter of, do you feel like, to your point, Greeny, he comes in and he fits what you're trying to do from an offensive standpoint and schematically?
I mean, how many years, I'm trying to do the math in my head, how many years after Baker Mayfield was the #1 pick was Murray? Was it the next year?
Yeah.
I think it was, right? That was consecutive drafts.
Yes.
So we're talking about Baker Mayfield, #1 overall pick, had some success in his first stop. The idea that he had none in Cleveland is completely inaccurate, but he had some success. Doesn't wind up working out there, finds another spot. Kyler Murray has certainly had some success in Arizona, nothing of consequence, but some success, and he goes on and finds another spot. So what you're saying is the super quarterback needy teams, the Jets of the world and others like that, that seems unlikely for the guys we just named.
When you have $35 million coming your way, I don't know if you want to sign up for a project situation, which would be the Jets, which would be maybe the Dolphins. And if you look at Cleveland right now, if there's an opening there, that might not be one you're rushing to. You might look at Minnesota and say they're playoff ready, and if I can do what Darnold did, I could hit a payday the next year.
That's the carousel. Like once the first shoe starts dropping, then it's like, all right,
where
are the open spots?
One team that's interesting, though, and Adam, I'd be curious your thoughts too. We don't talk about Pittsburgh much, and it's because of the Rodgers of it all, but like they were a playoff team last year also.
We have to get to them. I got to get to them. We'll break here, but we'll come back with more of these quarterbacks because the first shoe could actually drop today. That guy wearing the number 17. We'll tell you why a decision that will be made in the next few hours could have an enormous impact on multiple teams around the NFL. Don't miss it. It's Get Up on ESPN.
On it.
He's working it. Shefty's got the phone working.
I got my pen.